Hello brothers and welcome to Sigma Old Man channel. The streets don't give lessons, they give scars, and every scar is a diploma in survival. That's the unofficial mantra of a Sigma male who's street smart enough to turn chaos into currency. While the world worships degrees, he collects instincts. Studies show that people who rely solely on logic miss over 70% of nonverbal danger cues. But the street smart Sigma, he doesn't miss a single one. He's the kind of man who can sense tension before a word is spoken, who knows when the smile is fake and when the silence is a setup. He's not book smart by tradition. He's reality smart by necessity. He doesn't quote philosophers. He outsmarts manipulators. And if life is a game of survival, the Sigma male isn't just a player. He's the guy quietly rewriting the rules while everyone else argues about them. Don't be fooled by his calm. That's not peace, it's precision. And if you think he's lucky, you've clearly never met a man who learned psychology from the streets, strategy from betrayal, and patience from watching fools expose themselves. This is why the street-smart Sigma male holds the ultimate advantage. Number one, he's comfortable in moral gray zones. A street-smart Sigma male doesn't live by the neat rules society tries to sell. He knows that real life rarely offers clean choices. Right and wrong often blur together, and pretending otherwise is how people get blindsided. The Sigma understands that morality isn't a straight line. It's a negotiation between survival, truth, and consequence. He's not heartless, but he's not naive either. He's learned that sometimes doing the right thing can destroy you, and doing the necessary thing can save you. He's seen how people hide behind morality to justify their hypocrisy. The ones who scream the loudest about being good often do the dirtiest work behind closed doors. The Sigma doesn't play that game. He prefers honesty over appearances, even if that honesty makes others uncomfortable. His sense of ethics is internal, built from experience, not approval. He doesn't follow what's socially accepted. He follows what works while keeping his conscience intact. That flexibility gives him a massive edge. While others waste time debating what's fair, he's already making moves. He doesn't panic when rules bend or situations turn messy. He adapts. He can walk into any scenario, a negotiation, a betrayal, a moral conflict, and make decisions without emotional paralysis. That's why people often underestimate him. They expect guilt or hesitation, but he's learned to stay detached enough to act, not react. It's not that he lacks principles. His principles are just forged in harder places. Loyalty means something to him, but only when it's mutual. Justice matters, but not when it's one-sided. Compassion exists, but never at the cost of self-respect. He understands that purity is often impractical, and purity without power is just weakness in disguise. This ability to operate in moral gray zones makes the Sigma untouchable. He's too grounded to be manipulated by guilt, too strategic to be fooled by appearances, and too self-aware to chase moral validation. While others drown in confusion, he moves through complexity like it's home, because for him, it is. Number two, he doesn't fear loneliness. He uses it for reconnaissance. For a street-smart Sigma male, solitude isn't a punishment. It's a privilege. While most people scramble for company to escape their thoughts, he embraces the silence because that's where his mind sharpens. Loneliness is his personal war room. It's where he studies patterns, recalibrates his emotions, and observes the world without interference. The quiet that drives others insane gives him clarity. He's not running from the noise of life. He's mastering it from a distance. Being alone doesn't make him feel small. It makes him self-sufficient. He's learned that most people use relationships as distractions, not connections. They fear stillness because it exposes their emptiness. The Sigma, on the other hand, has already faced that emptiness and conquered it. That's why no one can easily manipulate him with attention or affection. He values connection, but never depends on it. He's loyal by choice, not by need. His time alone also serves as emotional reconnaissance. He observes how people behave when he withdraws, who reaches out, who vanishes, and who pretends to care only when it benefits them. Silence reveals truth that words try to hide. In isolation, he collects data about himself, about others, about the dynamics that most people are too busy to notice. It's not loneliness to him, it's strategy. That's what makes him so composed. While others chase validation or crumble when ignored, he uses that space to evolve. He studies, plans, heals, and upgrades himself quietly. The Sigma doesn't fear being alone because he's already learned that solitude isn't the absence of people. It's the presence of power. When he eventually steps back into the world, he comes out with new insights, sharper instincts, and an even calmer dominance. Loneliness might break ordinary men, but it refines the Sigma. It's his reset button, his mirror, and his map. Where others lose themselves in isolation, he finds his edge. Number 3, he understands that loyalty has expiration dates. A street-smart Sigma male knows that loyalty isn't eternal. It's conditional, situational, and often temporary. He's seen people swear allegiance when the weather is good, only to vanish at the first sign of rain. Through experience, he learned that most loyalty isn't built on respect, it's built on benefit. As long as someone gains from you, they stay close. When the profit ends, so does their devotion. That's why he never confuses presence for loyalty. He studies motives, not words. This understanding doesn't make him cold. It makes him realistic. He gives loyalty, but never blindly. He tests it in silence, observing who stands firm when there's nothing to gain. The Sigma doesn't demand lifelong devotion from anyone because he knows human nature too well. Needs change, emotions fade, and priorities shift. Instead of mourning disloyalty, he anticipates it. That foresight saves him from disappointment and betrayal. He doesn't dramatize broken trust either. He treats loyalty like a contract that can end naturally once its purpose expires. If someone's loyalty fades, he doesn't chase, accuse, or plead. He simply detaches. That calm detachment is his strength. It's how he keeps his peace while others drown in resentment. He learned long ago that clinging to people who've already let go only weakens your energy. This mindset also gives him emotional discipline. Because he doesn't rely on others to validate his worth, betrayal doesn't shatter him, it educates him. Every disloyal act sharpens his radar, making him better at spotting inconsistencies early. That's why people find him so unbothered. He expects human change, but he never stops observing it. For the Sigma, loyalty is sacred, but not eternal. It's earned, monitored, and respected only as long as it's mutual. Once the exchange of respect ends, he exits quietly. No revenge, no bitterness, just closure. He knows that pretending loyalty lasts forever is what destroys people, not the betrayal itself. His realism keeps him free, focused, and miles ahead of those still crying over broken promises. Number 4, he sees people as systems, not stories. A street-smart Sigma male doesn't get swept away by people's emotions, excuses, or elaborate stories. He's learned that every person operates like a system, a predictable pattern of habits, reactions, and motives. While others listen to what people say, he watches what they repeat. Words can be decorated, patterns can't. Over time, he becomes fluent in decoding people's behavioral systems. That's why he rarely gets surprised. He already mapped out their next move long before they make it. This perspective keeps him detached, yet deeply aware. When someone tries to manipulate him with drama or guilt, he doesn't react emotionally. He steps back and studies the mechanism behind it, the trigger, the goal, the payoff. He knows that every action serves a purpose, even when people pretend it doesn't. By understanding those underlying codes, he stays 10 steps ahead, while others are still trying to figure out what went wrong. It's not cynicism, it's observation at its highest form. He doesn't see people as good or bad. He sees them as programmed by their experiences. Everyone runs on emotional software built from pain, pride, or desire. Once he recognizes the system behind someone's behavior, he can decide whether to engage, adjust, or disconnect, without drama, without guilt. That gives him immense control over his energy. He doesn't take betrayal personally because he knows it's just someone running their code. He doesn't get addicted to compliments because he understands flattery is often just another function of influence. His calmness comes from understanding human patterns so deeply that nothing shocks him anymore. He's not detached out of coldness. He's detached out of mastery. This ability to read people as systems gives the Sigma male the upper hand in every area of life, business, relationships, or survival. While most people drown in emotional reactions, he decodes the structure beneath them. It's why he moves with quiet precision, never wasting time trying to fix people's stories, only adjusting to their systems. In a world ruled by emotions, that level of awareness is his ultimate power. Number 5, he's spiritually street smart. 2, a street smart Sigma male doesn't only read faces or body language, he reads energy. His intuition is like a built-in radar that picks up on tension, envy, or hidden motives before words even enter the room. He's spiritually aware, but not in the shallow, good vibes only kind of way. His awareness was carved from real-life experiences: betrayal, survival, loss, and quiet victories. Those moments taught him how to sense the invisible forces that shape human behavior. He doesn't just see what people do, he feels why they do it. This kind of spiritual intelligence makes him nearly impossible to deceive. He recognizes energy shifts instantly, the fake warmth in someone's tone, the forced laugh, the sudden change in atmosphere when his name comes up. Most people dismiss these things as paranoia, but he knows better. The streets trained his instincts to the point where his intuition is data-driven. It's not superstition, it's pattern recognition at a higher frequency. He also understands that energy exchange is real. When he leaves a room drained, he knows exactly who the emotional leech was. When his mood suddenly lifts, he knows who carries clean energy. This awareness makes him selective with access. He guards his peace like it's gold, because he's seen how one toxic presence can destroy weeks of mental balance. While others chase crowds, he filters his circle down to those whose energy feels honest. Being spiritually street smart also means he trusts timing more than pressure. He doesn't rush outcomes or force situations. He's learned that some delays are protection, and some rejections are divine redirection. That calm patience makes him untouchable in chaos. His mind stays still when others panic. His spirituality isn't about rituals or appearances. It's about alignment. He lives by vibration, not validation. The Sigma male's sixth sense isn't mystical. It's survival refined into awareness. He's grounded enough to move with logic, yet elevated enough to sense what logic can't explain. That balance between instinct and insight is what makes his presence so unshakable and his energy so rare. Number 6, he understands the game. Beneath every game. A street-smart Sigma male knows that life isn't random. It's layered with unspoken rules that most people never notice. He's not just aware of what's happening on the surface. He sees the hidden negotiations happening underneath every smile, every compliment, every handshake. In his world, every interaction is an exchange of energy, attention, influence, or control. Most people call it manipulation when someone bends these dynamics. but he calls it awareness. He doesn't see manipulation as evil. He sees it as architecture, the structure that keeps every system running. Because of that, he doesn't waste time crying about fairness. He knows the world isn't built on fairness. It's built on leverage. In business, in relationships, even in casual conversations, people are constantly positioning themselves. The Sigma sees through all of it. He understands that power isn't loud, it's subtle. It's in who listens more, who reacts less, who can stay still while others chase approval. That's why he plays chess while others argue about the rules. He's not trying to look powerful. He's simply using knowledge that others ignore. His biggest edge is his emotional detachment. He doesn't get swept into people's games. He observes them until he knows the patterns. When someone tries to bait him with drama or competition, he smiles inwardly because he already sees the end of that script. His calmness isn't weakness, it's prediction. He knows that control isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that no one can pull your strings. That's why he wins quietly. While others burn energy trying to prove something, he's studying moves, watching patterns, and waiting for the perfect timing. His power doesn't come from playing the game better. It comes from understanding the game beneath the game. And once you understand that level of reality, you stop competing and start directing. Number 7, he decodes danger in people, not places. A street-smart Sigma male learned early that danger doesn't always come from dark alleys or bad neighborhoods. It often walks in wearing a smile and holding a handshake. He doesn't waste time judging environments. He studies people. His instincts are tuned to subtle signals that most overlook. The micro shifts in tone, the forced laughter, the delay before a response. Those details speak louder to him than any warning sign. To him, safety isn't about where he is, it's about who's there. He's mastered the art of reading energy long before words are exchanged. His eyes pick up what the average person ignores, the tension behind politeness, the over-eagerness that hides deceit, the stillness that precedes betrayal. Years of exposure to unpredictable situations trained him to trust those gut alerts that logic can't explain. He knows that danger rarely announces itself. It hides in charm, confidence, and convenience. That's why he trusts intuition more than appearances. This skill gives him predictive power most people can't even comprehend. While others rely on what's said, he relies on what's felt. He doesn't need proof to act. His instincts are his evidence. That's why he avoids traps that others walk into smiling. He knows when someone's interest is genuine and when it's disguised as friendliness. He knows the difference between calm energy and calculated silence. To him, every human interaction is an emotional landscape, and he can sense where the cracks are. What makes him even more formidable is his composure. When his instincts detect danger, he doesn't panic. He adjusts. His awareness becomes his shield. He'll stay polite, but he'll quietly reposition himself out of harm's reach without anyone realizing it. By the time the mask drops, he's already gone. That's the secret of the street-smart Sigma male. While everyone else looks for warning signs in the environment, he reads them in people's eyes. And that skill keeps him 3 steps ahead in every situation. Number 8, he learns from chaos, not comfort. A street-smart Sigma male doesn't grow in peace. He evolves in pressure. While others wait for perfect conditions to learn, he gains wisdom from the unpredictable, the painful, and the chaotic. The streets were his first teacher, and they don't hand out lessons. They test you until you understand. Every mistake, every betrayal, every loss carved intelligence into his instincts. His wisdom isn't polished or rehearsed. It's raw, tested, and painfully earned. Comfort breeds softness, but chaos breeds clarity. The Sigma learned early that survival demands pattern recognition, not theory. When life hits hard, he doesn't break. He studies the hit. He watches who switches sides under pressure, who stays silent when it counts, and how people reveal themselves when comfort disappears. That's why his perception is razor sharp. He's trained to see the pattern before the problem even forms. His intelligence isn't memorized knowledge, it's instinctual memory. He might not quote theories, but he can sense outcomes before they unfold. The chaos he faced became his laboratory for human behavior. Every unpredictable situation refined his emotional control, sharpened his observation, and toughened his decision-making. He doesn't panic when things fall apart. He's been through worse. While the educated mind analyzes from safety, the street-smart Sigma understands through exposure. He doesn't just know what people do. He knows why they do it, because he's witnessed it in real time. That's a kind of understanding no classroom can recreate. His scars carry more wisdom than any diploma could represent. That's what makes him unshakable. He's been conditioned by chaos, not protected by comfort. He doesn't fear uncertainty. He adapts to it faster than most can think. To him, chaos isn't destruction, it's data. Every crisis becomes another map in his internal system, another code cracked. And while others crumble trying to make life predictable, the Sigma thrives because he already learned the ultimate truth. Real intelligence isn't learned, it's survived. Number 9, he's fluent in human masks. A street-smart Sigma male has spent enough time observing human behavior to know that most people wear masks, not out of evil, but out of fear, need, and strategy. He's seen how easily someone can change faces depending on who's watching. He's watched people lie to survive, fake kindness for gain, and act humble just long enough to manipulate their way to power. This constant exposure to shifting personalities didn't make him paranoid. It made him fluent in deception. He doesn't need someone to confess their motives. He reads the subtle transitions that reveal them. He notices the micro-expressions that slip through even the best performances, the half-second delay before a fake smile, the flicker of envy in the eyes, the tightening of a jaw when someone feels threatened. Most people get fooled by charm. He studies inconsistencies. When a person's words and energy don't match, he doesn't argue. He quietly files that information away. To him, every interaction is data, and he processes it like a human lie detector. This fluency in human masks gives him an eerie advantage. People feel seen around him, sometimes uncomfortably so, because he perceives their motives even when they try to hide them. He can sense when affection is transactional, when loyalty is fading, or when admiration is rooted in envy. It's not magic, it's awareness sharpened by experience. He's seen enough of humanity's dark side to know that sincerity is rare and that truth often wears disguises. What makes him truly dangerous is his restraint. He never calls people out immediately. He lets them keep their mask on, pretending he believes it, while he quietly observes their next move. That's how he stays ahead, by understanding not just the person, but the persona. Most people see faces, he sees shifts. Most people hear words, he hears motives. His ability to read those subtle switches makes him nearly impossible to deceive, because while others fall for the performance, he's already studying the actor. Number 10, he masters influence without authority. A street-smart Sigma male doesn't chase leadership, he embodies it. He doesn't need a title, a stage, or anyone's permission to command a room. His influence works quietly through presence and precision. He's learned that real power isn't about control, it's about effect. People listen to him not because they have to, but because they feel something when he speaks, even if he says very little. His authority doesn't come from position, it comes from calibration, knowing exactly when to speak, when to pause, and when to say nothing at all. He understands rhythm better than most. The timing of his tone, the calmness in his reactions, the stillness in his energy, all of it sends unspoken signals that people instinctively respect. Street life taught him that survival often depends on how you carry yourself, not how loud you are. The Sigma's composure tells people he's not desperate, not impressed, and not easily shaken, and that alone makes others align around him. He knows how to guide energy without forcing it. Whether he's in a negotiation, a conversation, or a confrontation, he moves people by subtly shifting the emotional temperature. His tone can de-escalate chaos or create silence that demands attention. He doesn't compete for dominance, he draws it in naturally. Even those who resist his presence end up adapting to his rhythm, often without realizing it. What separates him from traditional leaders is his independence from validation. He doesn't need applause, followers, or acknowledgement to feel powerful. His influence is internal, built from confidence, awareness, and self-control. That's why people find him magnetic. They sense that his power doesn't rely on approval, and that unsettles them in the best way. While others use words to convince, he uses energy to command. His calmness, precision, and quiet dominance speak louder than authority ever could. He doesn't persuade people. He reprograms the atmosphere until following him feels like the natural thing to do. That's the kind of leadership you can't fake, buy, or teach. It's instinct refined into presence. Number 11, he understands fear and doesn't worship it. A street-smart Sigma male has faced fear in its rawest form, not the kind people talk about in motivational speeches, but the kind that tests your instincts, your patience, and your faith in yourself. He's seen how fear can break people, but he's also seen how it reveals them. That's why he doesn't run from it or glorify it. He studies it. To him, fear isn't the enemy, it's a message. It tells him where weakness hides, where loyalty fades, and where truth begins. He's learned that most people either deny fear or let it control them. The ones who deny it become reckless. The ones who worship it become prisoners. The Sigma walks the middle line. He acknowledges fear as part of the human equation, but refuses to let it dictate his moves. When fear shows up, he doesn't panic. He observes. He asks himself what it's trying to teach him or who it's trying to expose. Over time, that observation has turned fear into a tool, not a threat. He uses it to measure people. When someone's afraid, their real nature surfaces. Their words drop, their masks crack, and their choices reveal who they truly are. The Sigma pays close attention in those moments. He watches who stands firm, who hides, and who betrays. That's how he gauges character, not in comfort, but in crisis. This mastery over fear gives him an aura of control that others can't fake. He's calm when situations spiral because he's already mapped his reactions through experience. He's not fearless. He's trained. He knows that courage without understanding is just arrogance, and control without awareness is just luck. By not worshipping fear, he stays balanced between instinct and intelligence. It sharpens his awareness instead of clouding it. While others freeze, he focuses. While others surrender, he strategizes. The Sigma doesn't fight fear, he directs it. And that's what separates those who survive from those who truly command life. Number 12, he understands the power of disguise. A street-smart Sigma male learned long ago that visibility can be a trap. The louder you are, the easier you are to target. That's why he doesn't chase attention. He controls it. He knows exactly when to dim his light and when to let it blind everyone in the room. His strength lies in invisibility, not as weakness, but as strategy. While others broadcast every move for validation, he moves in silence, letting curiosity do the talking. His discretion gives him access to information people, and opportunities that show-offs never notice until it's too late. He understands that in any social or power structure, the person seen the least often knows the most. Disguise is his protection and his leverage. He can blend in when it's time to observe and resurface only when it's time to strike. That unpredictability keeps him untouchable. No one can counter a move they can't see coming. This ability to shapeshift through environments, to be present but never predictable, is what separates him from men who crave spotlight more than substance. To him, attention is currency, and spending it carelessly is foolish. He watches others exhaust themselves trying to be noticed while he conserves energy and knowledge. When he finally decides to reveal himself, he does it with precision. One statement, one action, one appearance that shifts the entire dynamic. By then the groundwork is already done and everyone else is just catching up. His disguise isn't deceit, it's discipline. It's the ability to play small while planning big, to stay underestimated until the timing is perfect. He knows that power grows in silence, not noise, so he doesn't announce his intentions or parade his progress. He lets results speak for him. That's the secret of the street-smart Sigma male. When others seek fame, he seeks advantage. When they crave attention, he craves access. And in a world obsessed with being seen, he wins by mastering the art of being unseen until it truly matters. The street-smart Sigma male isn't just a man who survived the rough edges of life. He's a product of them. His strength was never handed to him. It was carved out of mistakes, observation, and silence. While others built their intelligence from books, he built his from human behavior, the unfiltered kind. He learned to see danger before it had a name, to read power before it had a title, and to control situations without ever announcing authority. That's the difference between being smart and being aware. His advantage isn't in arrogance or dominance, it's in subtlety. He doesn't chase approval because he understands it's the first step toward losing leverage. He doesn't depend on validation because it makes people predictable. Instead, he uses observation as his compass, patience as his weapon, and unpredictability as his shield. Every room he walks into, he studies its rhythm before moving to its music. That's how he stays 2 steps ahead. Not by playing harder, but by playing quieter. In a world where everyone is desperate to be noticed, he wins by being deliberate. He can blend in or stand out at will, strike, or stay still depending on what the situation demands. And that's his ultimate advantage, control. Not the control of others, but the control of himself, which in turn controls everything else. If you truly understand the Sigma mindset, you'll realize it's not about being mysterious for attention. It's about mastering detachment in a world addicted to noise. It's the art of reading life without reacting to it. That's what makes the street-smart Sigma male untouchable. He doesn't just play the game, he rewrites it quietly, every single day. If you enjoyed this breakdown and you're drawn to the depth of how Sigma males think, live, and dominate the unseen layers of life, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and drop a comment below on which point hit you the hardest. Share this video with someone who's wired differently, someone who sees more than most, because that's how awareness spreads, not loudly, but effectively.